Hey everyone, this is Jane with Barlow Herbal, and in this video I'm going to share some information with you on a lovely prickly little plant called Milk Thistle. Now the information I share with you is not meant to be medical advice. This is meant to just educate and entertain you. So Milk Thistle is native to the Mediterranean, but over the years it has migrated to places all over the world: North America, South America, Australia, and Europe. So you can find this lovely plant on roadsides, in meadows, and growing even in cities where people have moved around, and milk thistle has also moved around. Now, milk thistle, the power is in its seeds, which are in the flower, even though there are beautiful medicinal properties in the leaves and also some in the roots. But what it's very well known for its liver restorative and liver protective properties, that's probably what it's best known for. Those reside mainly in the seeds. And there's a bunch of other things that milk thistle is also really well known for. So liver health, like I said, liver restorative and liver protective, detoxification support. It's got powerful antioxidant properties. It's great for inflammation and pain, blood sugar regulation. It's also good for improving lactation for breastfeeding moms. In fact, also what I really love about it is it's really good for postmenopausal women and your bone health. You know, this is something I get asked about all the time is, how do I protect my bone health as I get older? And especially in women who are postmenopausal. And even though we know that milk thistle is really, really good for liver health, some people might not realize how good it is for protecting against bone loss. So that would be something that would be really beneficial to look into if you're a person that suffers or has a potential to suffer from bone loss. Now, milk thistle is one of those plants that is easy to identify due to the white veins that are on the leaves. In fact, there are some other types of thistle that people can easily confuse with milk thistle. Some of these are ones like Canada thistle, bull thistle, Italian thistle, musk thistle, and the one that grows very prolific here in Utah is called Scotch thistle. Now, milk thistle, out of all those thistles, is the only one that has all of these white veins through it. And that's actually how it got its name. And legend has it is that it got its name because of the Virgin Mary spilt milk on this plant, and that's what made it get these white veins in its leaves. So some of these old quirky legends are super fun. They go back to ancient times, and it just shows you how long some of these plants have been not only identified by human beings, but used medicinally for good health and all kinds of things. What it's most known for, and its seeds are where the power is for its restorative, protective properties for the liver. Now, what's nice about this is for people with liver issues, especially ones that have had too much alcohol, too many pharmaceutical drugs, and maybe even chemotherapy. If you have a liver that needs protection and it needs to be restored, then milk thistle is something that many people will run across when they're searching for natural remedies to restore and protect their liver, and they run across milk thistle. So the time that you actually harvest the seeds is before the flower. So the flower there's a flower typically at the top of each plant. And this is another way that you can identify it, is it's just got a single flower that comes up, because many of the other thistles might have multiple flowers and they can kind of be a little bit droopy. But with the milk thistle, it has one flower right in the center, and it does have a lot of spikes around it as well. But what you do is you want to harvest it before the flower opens up. So you cut off the flower, you let it dry in a cool, dry place, and then the seeds will dry, and you can basically even open it up and scoop the seeds out with a spoon, put them in an airtight container, and then grind them up, put them in a tea. You can add them to different recipes even, or you can even grind them up into a powder and encapsulate them yourself. So that is something that is really fun to do. But if you let a milk thistle just go to seed naturally, it will open up and dry up and blow away almost like a dandelion. And this is how it propagates. This is how it grows everywhere. In fact, some of the places that I've seen where there are milk thistles, just big swaths and patches of milk thistle, it's almost invasive. In fact, this is one thing I would definitely say. We've been talking a lot about common roadside weeds that would make a wonderful part of your medicinal herb garden. But you need to be very aware that where you plant plants like this, they could go out and they could kind of infiltrate your whole neighborhood. So it'd be something I'd be very careful of, be very aware, be very cognizant of what your neighbors might want in their yards, because especially with the thistle, where you've got all these prickly, spiky leaves, and you can find these plants will really take over an area or take over a neighborhood. Now, one of the really cool things that I love about milk thistle is that you can actually eat the stalks and the leaves. Many people don't realize that this is culinary. So besides, there are lighter medicinal benefits to the leaves and the stalks and even the roots. There, you can eat them. So one of the things that we used to do with my dad is when we identified milk thistle, and I remember this as at a time when we were in California. We grew up in Idaho. I don't remember ever identifying milk thistle with my dad in Idaho. And I think that even though I might be able to do that now, if I were to really look for it, I think it's just got such a colder climate that milk thistle prefers the warmer climates. But one of the things that we used to do is cut off a milk thistle leaf, and you'd have to be a little bit careful because they are a little bit prickly. But then what you do is you take your knife and you take the leaf and clear off the stalk. So you basically are left like a celery stalk. And we used to actually eat this just like that without even taking it in the house and rinsing it. I mean, usually we were on a road trip, and it was one of those things where you didn't have the convenience of being able to rinse it off. So this is one of those things where you really want to pay attention to where you forage and consume them once you have identified properly, and once you maybe have an opportunity to clean them off a little bit. You can also take the leaves and use them as a bitter green in different salads and stuff. But of course, you'd almost use it like kale. Like, I kind of think that that's a really good comparison as far as kale is pretty tough. And I will typically take the spine out of a kale leaf, and then I'll chop up fine the rest of the leaf, and then I'll saute it. I'll make it really fine for salads. But with a milk thistle leaf, you can actually eat the stalk. It's crunchy, it's fresh, it's got a really mild taste. And then you can take the leaf, the rest of the leaf, trim off the spiky parts, and then rinse it off and chop it up and put it into a salad, put it into a smoothie, put it into something that you would maybe eat as a bitter green. You could saute it and all of that. The seeds, which are the most potent part of the milk thistle, are harvested when the flower heads have dried and turned brown, usually in the late summer to early fall. And this is something that I plan on doing next year. And I said a couple of videos ago, I'm going to get out there and I'm going to start recording some videos and teaching about these things where I can actually be in front of a plant and I can show you the parts of the plant I'm talking about and actually how to forage for them and how to prepare them. I think that's a really important part of adding these into your, not just your diet, but into your herbal apothecary and into your supplement routine. So what you want to do is you want to cut off the flower head before it fully opens. Let them dry in a warm, airy place. Shake or thresh the flower heads to release and collect the seeds, and then clean and store them in an airtight place. Just to recap, as far as identifying, the leaves are white marbled. The leaves are also smooth and glossy. And I actually didn't say that in the beginning. A lot of thistles, their leaves are hairy and a little bit fuzzy. And this is one way that makes it really easy to identify the leaves of a milk thistle, is because it's smooth and glossy. Now, there's some prickly parts of the thistle around the edges of the leaves, but the actual surface and the back of the leaves are smooth and glossy. Plant size is large and robust, and it doesn't grow as tall as, say, a Scotch thistle. You know, this is something we have all over Utah. And I've had many friends when they've been learning about different plants will send me pictures and say, oh my gosh, look, I found a milk thistle. And what they've identified is actually a Scotch thistle. There's a great app that you can download on your phone. It's called Picture This. And I have found it to be extremely accurate. It just helps with plant identification. And I've actually had it correctly identify pretty much everything that I have scanned a picture of. So this is a really nice, convenient way to use modern technology to help us identify some of these beautiful, beautiful plants that are so good for our health. Now, I would love to know what you think about milk thistle. Have you used it? I would say most people, and if you're one of them who've used it for your liver, comment below. Yes, liver, me, liver. We actually put the milk thistle as one of the ingredients in our LiverLove. And the LiverLove is good for not just your liver, but it's also good for your gallbladder. One of the questions I have had from people is, I don't have a gallbladder anymore. Can I still take the LiverLove? Yes, if you have a liver, which if you're a live human, you probably still have a liver, then you can benefit even if you don't have a gallbladder. But if you, I'd love to hear it if you've used it for other things. And what I would mostly be curious about, who watching this video has ever harvested and grown and loves cultivating their own milk thistle. To me, this makes a beautiful addition to your medicinal herb garden. But once again, I want to reiterate, make sure if you're in a dense neighborhood where you've got a lot of neighbors with manicured yards, it might be something that they don't appreciate unless you're very, very careful and you clip those flower buds off and the seeds don't get a chance to blow all over your neighborhood. So let me know what you think, guys, and we will see you in the next one.